Welcome to Easy Math TV. Today we're going to be using an actual real world example, and we're going to learn about the average rate of change of something over time. And in this first video, though, I just want to start by talking about the numbers themselves and the data itself. And then in the second video, we'll actually get into the average rate of change. So the source of this data is from www.eia.gov. It's the U.S. Energy Information Administration, and they have a lot of real cool data to look at there. It's really a good source if you want to start getting into some study of looking at data and how it relates to our lives. This chart is basically right on their website, so you can actually look at it, or you can pause this video and you can copy these numbers down, whatever you want to do to follow along with what we're doing. But I just want to talk about the numbers. So let's just talk about the numbers themselves, because this can be difficult. We need to sort of get a sense of what is meant by 29,193,090 that we see there in 2022. So first of all, we're going to be rounding that number to 29.2 for our purposes in the Excel spreadsheet. But I just want to point out also that we want to see just what is that number? What is it really? Because the header on our chart here says that these numbers are in millions of cubic feet. So we want to get a feel for what that actually means. So this 29,193,090 is really a number that is measured in millions of millions. It's called million. Well, we don't use the word million. We actually have another word for that. It's called trillion. So a million of something is a trillion of it. But the truth of the matter is that once things get really large, adding more zeros isn't very helpful. So that's why in the chart here, they're not giving you the numbers in trillions. They're actually giving you the numbers in millions of cubic feet. But even that isn't really all that helpful. So the true number, you can see here, the true number of natural gas cubic feet is 29,193,090,000,000 cubic feet of natural gas in 2022 consumed in the United States. So, it's hard to wrap your head around that. How much is that really? So let's put that in more concrete terms. If we know that the population in the United States is approximately 333 million. So how much natural gas would that be per person? That's a reasonable thing to ask. So when you divide the actual number of cubic feet by the population, we get 87,667 cubic feet of natural gas per person in the United States. But even that is just a little bit outside of our experience, because we don't really know how much is a cubic foot of natural gas. It is a volume measure, but how much is that? Well, it turns out the number of gallons in a cubic foot is 7.48052. So if we multiply, because we have to multiply the number of cubic feet times that number to get the number of gallons, we get 655,795 gallons of natural gas per person were consumed in the year 2022. And notice, I just want you to know, that's not your household. That is all natural gas that was consumed. So any factories or industrial use, all of the commercial use, hospitals, um, any sort of like even oh gosh, I can't even think of other possibilities, but there are all kinds of areas where natural gas is consumed, and we just average that out as a number per person, and it averages out as 655,795 gallons per person that was consumed in the United States on your behalf. So, whether it was you consuming it yourself or someone else consuming it in order to keep a business open or a hospital running, that's how much was consumed. So that's just to put things into perspective. In our next video, then we're going to tear into this data and see what it's actually telling us.